Hello everyone, back again with another video. Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy here, and I'm going to be showing a little bit of VCLT that I got from my buddy Chris Mann over in Wales, and then I'm going to be doing my next vinyl styles video, a series in which I'm going through the different sub-genres in my collection, ultimately known as styles on the Discogs app. And so yeah, this set are I guess subgenres in which I have two records. Okay, so I finished off all the ones in which I only have one in my collection. These are the ones in which I'm going to have two in my collection, but I'm only going to show one of each in these subgenres. So yeah, if you are new to my channel, definitely give me that thumbs up. Click that, subscribe button. Give me a like. All the good stuff. If you are a returning viewer, always appreciate your support in this. And yeah, so here we go. Chris Mann, this is for you. Just received this from him in the mail. I got a few things. Normally I don't show CDs too much because I don't really collect them, but he wanted to give me this because he knows that the vinyl edition of this, it costs a fortune. That is the Zac Brown Band Greatest Hits. And of course it wouldn't be Chris Mann VCLT without giving out some greatest hits, of which the two vinyl records he sent me are also greatest hits. So yeah, he sent me Grateful Dead's greatest hits. I'm not a huge Grateful Dead guy. I do definitely appreciate Jerry Garcia, and the one song that I really like on this, and I know that it's the one that was the big hit in the 1980s, is Touch of Grey, but I think that is a phenomenal song. But this also has Truckin' on it. It's got Casey Jones, Friend or the Devil, Touch of Grey, like I said. So that is a fantastic add to my collection. Grateful Dead's greatest hits. And then he also sent me a best of ZZ Top. And this has Tush, and it has LaGrange on it. So this is, I believe it's mainly the 70s hits. This doesn't have Legs or Sharp Dressed Man or anything on it like that, but it's the earlier stuff. So thank you, Chris, for the VCLT. Of course, this is the Rocktober. It's got the Rocktober hype sticker from Rhino. So there we go, ZZ Top's best of. All right, so then that brings me to the vinyl styles part of this video. And so I think I've got 10 records here, if memory serves me correctly. I'm going to have my trusty notepad in front of me, or else I'm never going to remember what the names of all of the sub-genres are. And I know that those of you that have been following this series think it's fascinating how many different genres and sub-genres of music I have in my collection. I think it's great. I think a lot of this is the result of inheriting, a lot from my grandfather when he passed in 2010, because he had an eclectic collection that he purchased when he was stationed in Germany in the 60s and things like that. And so yeah, there we go. But a lot of this I have purchased on my own as well. And a lot of these styles today, for the most part, probably conflict with one another. They definitely wouldn't be commingling in any sense of the imagination. So here we go, starting with a 12-inch single that I have from a Danish singer who then met a guy in Italy, and then she took on the stage name Wigfield. Now this is the Wigfield single. Oh, gotta take my glasses off for this. Basically, it's a DJ. It's Much More by Wigfield, and it's got all the some different versions on there. There's the Echo Test Club Anthem, the DJ Nuck Extended, the DJ M Freestyle. So Wigfield's Much More. Of course, there you can see it on the label. I just have a generic cover here for this one. I got this as part of a collection I had got off eBay or something, if memory serves me correct. But she was the one that did the, I think it was in 95 or 96, that song Saturday Night, which was a big hit on the dance club tracks. So this is Euro House style. That's the subgenre, is Euro House. So definitely played at all the clubs in the 90s, and I remember it on like MTV and Much Music and stuff like that. Another Saturday Night. So there we go. Euro House and Wakefield. I know that y'all know that I'm a huge dance guy. It's kind of funny. I actually don't have much dance in my collection. So there we go. Just to start things off. Up next, we have Aboriginal or Indigenous music. I've shown this album before. It's probably one of my most valuable records in my collection, and I actually have two. One that I got at a garage sale and one that I got at the radio station, so I haven't really paid much for these, but they are quite valuable. And that is my Goose Wings, the songs or the music of James Bay. Not to be confused with the musician James Bay. This is music from the James Bay region of Ontario, Canada, which is mainly Cree music and Cree indigenous population. So it's a really cool design, really cool logo on there. Kind of a cool label. Can't really see it through the plastic. But yeah, it's mainly traditional music from this area, indigenous content. Some of it's like a country sound, but all kinds of different stuff that is on there. A Polar Bear song. I got My Music, Stereotype Indian, Arkansas Traveler, Cherry Song. There's actually a song on here called James Bay, which is about James Bay waters and stuff like that. So there we go. Goose Wings under the Indigenous or Aboriginal style. All right. Moving on. So we've got, these are three completely different genres in a row here. We are going to be looking at some funk metal. Many of you know that one of my favorite bands from the 90s is Les Claypool and Primus. So funk metal. Now, I only have two in my collection. I have a ton of Primus in my collection, but this is one of the two Primus albums that falls and best fits, I guess, with funk metal, so the earlier albums. Because a lot of their mid-90s, late 90s would be classified more like alternative with maybe a little bit of metal or funk in it. So Sailing the Seas of Cheese, this is, I think, other than Frizzle Fry, the one that kind of got Primus on the map. The title track, Sailing the Seas of Cheese. Sergeant Baker was a big song from this, but the big one that had the music video and everything was Jerry Was a Race Car Driver. And they even did those damn blue-collared tweakers at Woodstock 94, in which they even attempted to play the American National Anthem on bass. So I've mentioned this before, Les Claypool, one of my favorite bass guitarists, if not my favorite, and Primus. So there we go, funk metal. And next we have got Volks music. Now I think it roughly translates to like folk music. I think that's what it means. And this is an inherited album from my grandfather called Holiday in Austria and Switzerland, and some really nice nature photos there and stuff of those nations. Now I know that they purchased this, my grandfather, in 1968 when he was stationed in Germany, because he signed the back. And this is on his Master's Voice RCA label with the dog there. But basically what this is, I was listening to this earlier to double check. It's definitely folky. The very first track that is on this is like yodeling music, and then it goes into some like mellow, I don't want to call it traveling music, but I guess cultural music that you would have heard in Austria and Switzerland at this time. So holiday in Austria, Volksmusik. Now, completely opposite of Volksmusik would be industrial music, or specifically industrial metal if we're going to go down the subgenre. And one of my favorite bands of the 90s is Ministry. They definitely fit into this industrial metal. This is probably, to me, the starting point with Ministry. You're going to know if you like these guys or not if you listen to this album, which is the Psalm 69 album. And once again, this had a few hits that were on After Hours on Much Music and MTV, NWO, Just One Fix, and of course, Jesus Built My Hot Rod, which is a really cool song. So those are all on the Psalm 69 on the Sire label, which once this always makes me laugh, and I think I've talked about this before, but one of the biggest music artists that ever signed with Sire was Madonna. So it always makes me laugh that Ministry and Madonna recorded for the exact same label at one point in time. All right. Now, I was positive that I had shown this record before for a different subgenre. I think I might have in one of my previous videos, but if I did, I'm showing it again. This is classical and romantic, and what a better way than showing the Hooked on classics. And this is exactly what you would think. It's orchestral. It is run by the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, or it was done by them. And basically, they take classical music, Symphony Number 40, some Tchaikovsky. You've got Mozart on here, Beethoven, and basically they recorded all these songs as part of an orchestral sound. So classical, orchestral, hooked on classics. There you go, Royal Harmonic Orchestra. All right. Now, instrumental is a subgenre that I'm weirded out. Maybe it's just because some of the other albums in my collection just aren't inputted into Discogs as instrumental, because I got a lot of albums where they are instrumental. So it's weird to me that I only have two in my collection. But this one here, once again, is another one that my grandparents picked up. So that one was when they were in Switzerland and Austria. I believe they picked this up when they were in Germany. I don't think they ever went to Italy, but this is the Monte Cristo Strings and Destination Rome. And basically it is a bunch of Italian songs that are done in, I would say, string music. So a lot of the songs have like the cellos and the violins and stuff like that. And once again, I was listening to this one earlier too, and I would argue that this is more relaxing. I'd say mellow music, not necessarily put you to bed, but if you just want to sit, read a book, relax. Destination Rome. So yeah, like Arrivederci Roma, Volare is on here. The Zoo and Villa Borghese. So a lot of, I guess, traditional Italian songs done instrumentally. Monte Cristo Strings. All right. One of my more recent videos, I had mentioned that I picked up this artist. I don't want to call it a Grail album, but one of these albums that apparently you would see in every thrift store, and it took me forever to see it. And that was Herb Alpert's Whipped Cream and Other Delights. But there's a subgenre called smooth jazz, and Herb Alpert's Rise falls under smooth jazz. And this is a really good album. Underrated, I think. Brings me into a time warp. So the first track on side one is called 1980. It's the year 1980. I don't know if you can... I'll see if I can find it here. Right at the bottom there. So 1980, and then Rise follows that. And I don't know the way that those songs go together. The first three tracks that are on there, 1980 Rise and Behind the Rain. It's like, to me, stepping into a 1980s soundtrack, maybe one of the Rocky movies or something like that, where it's like pumping you up to win a fight or a match. It's just particularly that 1980 song. It's like walking into a complete 80s soundtrack for, like I said, a hype type thing, winning a boxing match or a hockey game or something like that. So pretty cool music there. Is smooth, is jazzy, but I would almost call it more like modern or contemporary jazz, in my opinion, because it incorporates the 1980s sound. You can tell that they were using some of the devices and basically machines and stuff from the 1980s to kind of incorporate the sound. So there we go, Herb Alpert, smooth jazz. We got two more to go here. Category Hawaiian music. I do have a few of these. Once again, found them at thrift stores, found them at the radio station, found them at a few other places, and I thought this one was particularly interesting just because of the cover and the name of the musician. And this is Blue Hawaiian Waters is the name of the album, by Harry Kapuni and his Royal Polynesians. So just what you would see in those 1950s and 60s Hawaiian music albums, you know, physically attractive female from Hawaii in the nice blue waters. And this is on the Kent label, but the issue that I have with these 50s and 60s Hawaiian music is depending on the recording, I find that the sound kind of just, it's like a shrill, loud sound in your ears with the different music instruments and stuff like that. So I have a hard time listening to this regularly. This is something that might bring out every now and again, depending on the mood. But yeah, Harry Kapuni and his Royal Polynesians, Blue Hawaiian Waters. If you want a taste of Hawaii, that's exactly what you're going to get. It's exactly what you might hear at, say, a luau or on a Hawaiian beach if you were to stroll the beach in the 1950s and 60s. Which then brings me to the last of the styles for this video, in which I have two in my collection. And this is contemporary jazz, which I briefly mentioned earlier when I was talking about the smooth jazz. But this is not Herb Alpert. In fact, this is going to be George Benson instead. And Breezin', which is an instrumental song that went big on this album. And I would argue that this is exactly what you're going to get. It's a modern jazz sound, 1970s and 80s. And just, I don't want to call it mellow, but definitely something that you can just listen to and chillax. Definitely not like the Blue Notes labeled musicians of the 50s and the 60s. Is a different type of jazz, hence the name contemporary, right? It's a little more modern. But this one, I believe, is 1976. So 70s and 80s. There we go. There is on the back cover, Breezin'. This Masquerade, 6-4, Lady Affirmation. So I think there's only 6 or 7 tracks on here. A little bit lengthier. So there we go. Those are 10 more styles in my collection. These ones, as I mentioned, I have 2 of each of these. And going back to the top of the video, once again, thank you, Chris, for the VCLT. And yeah, until next time, I hope that you enjoyed this video. And I'll be putting out more to continue this series in the near future. Until next time, thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one.